Welcome once again to the official Colorado Sports Hall of Fame podcast. I'm Dave Plati.
And I'm Jim Saccomano. We are your co hosts with 90 years of experience working in Colorado sports. Myself with the Denver Broncos, and Dave with the CU Buffaloes. And both of us at one time with the Denver Bears, among our many other experiences.
We are continuing our review of 150 significant moments in Colorado sports history. The state's 150th birthday is fast approaching August 1st, the date in 1876 that Colorado is admitted as the 38th state in the Union. A veteran committee ranked the top 50 of those moments, all culled from over 2,000 that have been collected, and still counting. Those were ranked by 19 people with over 800 years combined years of covering and or working in Colorado sports. We have been counting down at a rate of 5 per week, and we will do daily for the top 10 come the end of July.
We've already covered numbers 36 through 150 in our previous podcasts, and we're now into those top 50 moments that were debated and then actually ranked by this committee. We are revealing 31 through 35 in this podcast. For the first 100, we wanted to cover all areas of the state and most, if not of all sports, but we're all very significant moments. We're archived, all of them are archived on the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame website, along with all our podcasts. Just go to coloradosports.org, click on the menu bar, and then top 150 moments or podcasts.
But first, we always revisit some other moments in Colorado sports history that aren't in the top 50 or aren't in those 150. Those moments were identified chronologically, signifying their importance at the time and that had a significant impact on the state sports scene. The latest add was just yesterday when the Colorado Rockies scored 23 runs, a franchise record. But for example, here are some other moments.
On June 17th, 1954, a game for the ages was wiped out. Denver's Almont Pidge Brown went 5 for 5 with 2 doubles and a home run, scoring 4 runs and driving in 9 in the Bears' 27-8 win over the Sioux City Sioux. But the game was played at a protest at the 1-out mark in the 4th inning and eventually tossed out. It resumed with Denver ahead 8-2 on July 22nd, but Denver still won 11-3. Brown would go 4 for 5 with a homer and 3 singles, driving in 3. The Bears' second baseman in that game, future Baltimore Orioles legendary manager, Hall of Famer Earl Weaver.
Let's go back to June 2nd, 1995. In their only year of existence, the expansion Denver Grizzlies won the International Hockey League's Turner Cup Championship with a 4-3 win at Kansas City, completing a 4-game sweep over the Blades. Coach Butch Goring's team cruised to the title, winning 15 of 17 postseason games after claiming the Southwest Division title with a 57-18-6 record. Rookie goaltender Tommy Salo won the IHL's MVP honor for the season, while Kip Miller led the team in scoring 46 goals and 106 points. He was the playoff MVP. The team, which averaged over 12,000 fans per game at McNichols Sports Arena, relocated to Salt Lake City with the arrival in the fall of the NHL's Quebec Nordiques as the Colorado Avalanche, and won the Turner Cup again in 95-96 in Salt Lake.
On June 18th, 2000, Colorado Rockies second baseman Mike Lansing recorded the fastest cycle in Major League history, accomplishing it against Arizona at Coors Field in the bottom of the 4th inning with a single. Finishing 4 for 5 with 5 RBI, he tripled in a run in the first, hit a 2-run homer in the second, and then doubled home 2 more in the third as the Rockies routed the Diamondbacks 19-2 and also tied them for first place with the win.
And from June 15 to 18, 1978, the U.S. Open, the 78th annual, is held in the state for the third time, all at Cherry Hills Country Club, with Andy North finishing with a +1 scorecard of 285, holding off late charges from J.C. Sneed and Dave Stockton to defeat both by a stroke. Hometown favorite Hale Irwin led after the first round 69 and finished fourth, 3 off the lead.
This is Mark Johnson, voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. As we count down the greatest moments in Colorado sports history, it's worth remembering that great sports moments don't just happen. They're built on preparation, resilience, and staying healthy. And in Colorado, a great sports moment can mean something different to everyone, from Hall of Fame athletes to anyone who simply wants to keep moving. Whether you're chasing championships, personal bests, or just a pain-free morning run, the team at CU Sports Medicine and Performance Center delivers exceptional sports medicine care, from prevention and recovery to performance. Founded right here in Boulder, the CU Sports Medicine and Performance Center brings together CU medicine providers and Boulder community health clinicians to provide comprehensive care that's close to home and rooted in the community they serve. Learn more at cusportsmedicincenter.com.
And now, on with the countdown.
The greatest moments in state of Colorado sports history. Number 35.
On July 4th, 1979, to quote the late, great Yogi Berra, who said, among other things, "It ain't over until it's over," that certainly was the case when the Denver Bears trailed the Omaha Royals 14-7 with 2 outs and nobody on base in the bottom of the ninth. Denver had led 1-0 early and was playing catch-up after Omaha played at 10 runs in the fourth. The anxious fans wanted the games to end, as it was also the Bears' traditional fireworks night, with an American Association record crowd of 38,490 in attendance. Sure enough, Denver rallied as the next 9 batters all reached base, capped by a 3-run homer by Jim Cox for a 16-14 Bears win. It remains one of the top all-time rallies in professional baseball history.
The greatest moments in state of Colorado sports history. Number 34.
Now, if you think that moment was wild, listen to this one. On April 9th, 1978, it was the final day of the 77-78 NBA season. Denver clinched the Midwest Division with a 48-33 record and traveled to Detroit. San Antonio had clinched the Central Division, 52-29 mark, and finished up at New Orleans. But that wasn't the moment of that day. Thus, winning wasn't the priority, but the battle for the league scoring title was at stake. The Spurs' George Gervin entered the day with 2,169 points in 81 games, 26.8 per, while the Nuggets' David Thompson had 2,099 in 79 games, 26.6 per. Gervin had one advantage. San Antonio's game tipped off 5 hours after Denver's 2:30 p.m. start in the Motor City. Thus, Thompson was up first and scored the third most points ever in an NBA game at the time, 73, a number that is still tied for the fourth most of the 25-26 season. He finished with 2,172 points, or 27.15 per game. Gervin knew exactly what he needed for him to overtake Thompson, 58 points, but he poured in 63 to finish with 2,232 points, or 27.22 per outing. Thompson was 28 of 38 from the floor and 17 of 20 from the line. And those were the days, no three-pointer in the NBA yet. Ironically, both teams lost. Detroit beat Denver 139-137, and New Orleans routed San Antonio 153-132. Doesn't get much wilder than that.
The greatest moments in state of Colorado sports history. Number 33.
On August 8th, 2004, finally, a career Denver Bronco was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Quarterback John Elway was chosen in the first year of eligibility, along with Barry Sanders, Carl Eller, and Bob Brown for enshrinement in Canton. Elway spent his entire 16-year NFL career, 1983 to 98, with the Broncos. One-time Bronco Willie Brown, who was with the Denver from 63 to 66, went on to play 12 seasons with Oakland and was inducted in 1984.
You were there, weren't you, Jim?
I was indeed standing next to Elway.
Any memories of it? Special memories?
To tell you the truth, I remember that Elway's dad had passed away. And I always thought personally that John was not as fired up as he'd been if his dad was there with him.
Mm.
The greatest moments in state of Colorado sports history. Number 32.
On February 10th, 1968, Colorado Springs' Peggy Fleming won the gold medal in figure skating in the 68 Olympics at Grenoble, France, the only gold won by any U.S. athletes across all events that year. Coming off a banner year where she was selected as the 1967 Athlete of the Year by ABC's Wild World of Sports, she was also a gold medalist in the U.S. and World Championships in 1968.
The greatest moments in state of Colorado sports history. Number 31.
December 6th, 1995, the Colorado Avalanche acquired all-star goalie Patrick Waugh in a trade with the Montreal Canadiens 4 days after he allowed 9 goals in an 11-1 loss to Detroit that got him crossways with team management. He would go 38, 21, and 6 with the Avs, 16 and 6 in leading the Avs to the Stanley Cup, had a 2.68 goals against average, 2.10 in the playoffs, with 3 shutouts. He would lead the team again to the Cup in 2001.
Now, at this time, we'd like to welcome our guest for this podcast, Denver Bears third baseman in 1979, Jim Cox, the hero on Fireworks Night 1979. But first, let's revisit KOA's radio's call of the play by the late Mark Holtz. Welcome to our podcast, Jim.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
That's
It's a
that
special
call
honor.
brings back a few memories.
Oh, yes.
First of all, was that the largest crowd you ever played before? True. How exciting was that to see Mile High over half full? You'd been up and down with the Expos in 4 different seasons, but they were known for not drawing well.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting to be able to play AAA baseball in Denver, especially with Montreal, because Denver almost outdrew Montreal, I think, that year. So as a home crowd, yeah, that was a lot larger than the seating at Old Jerry Park.
It was a strange game, to say the least. We talked earlier about how the Bears took a 1-0 lead, and then Omaha scored 10 runs in the fourth. So it was a free-for-all after that point. But now you're playing catch-up, the 38,000 plus in attendance, and now probably are just waiting for the fireworks, thinking the game's out of reach. Did the team feel any pressure to rally or just want it to end?
I think because of the fireworks and you could kind of hear the crowd, they weren't into it. I think a lot of us were, let's just get this over with and see the fireworks. So I know when I came to bat in the bottom of the ninth, I think there was 1 out. I was 0 for 4, not having a real good game, obviously, and I singled to right field. When I get to first base and I go, okay, being selfish back then, as all hitters were, okay, we can end the game and let's watch the fireworks. Little did I know that the fireworks were going to come later.
So you're chipping away. Now it's 11-4 after 6, 13-7 after 8. The Royals added 1 more in the 9th to go up by a touchdown, 14-7.
Yeah.
Recall anything in particular as Denver came to bat in the bottom of the inning?
No, just I think explain that everybody, all 38,000, were kind of tired of the game at that point, and in baseball, down 7 runs, even in Mile High Stadium, is a large order, and Omaha had good pitching, so It wasn't in our, I don't know, our minds right away that, wow, we can do this.
Yeah.
Now, you started the rally with the single, as you mentioned, but there were already two out, and then the homer came later. Any other time in your career where you had two hits in the same inning?
Boy, not that I can recall. I may have somewhere, but I'm sure not in professional sports.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah. And so, I'm glad that I was able to do that. One of the funny things was, so I was on first base. I got to third base and two outs, and we're still down 14-7.
Baseball's a funny game, Jim. They give you a round bat and a round ball and tell you to hit it square.
Yeah, and the inning was from then on was really kind of funny. If you go back, I don't remember it all, but Dan Quisenberry, the great reliever for the Royals, he came in that inning, didn't get anybody out. I think he walked three hitters. John Tamargo, our catcher, who was not known for great speed, had a triple. So things were, kind of weird.
It was. Tamargo went on to manage for 20 years in the minors. He was 5 for 6 with 4 RBI that night.
Yeah.
3 of which came on a triple that pulled the Bears within 14-12. Now the crowd really had to be into it. Jerry Cram came in to pitch, relieving future major leaguer Dan Quisenberry, who walked Pat Scanlon. Art Gardner, good Lord, Art Gardner then singled home Scanlon, setting the stage for your heroics. What in the world was going through your mind?
Well, the first thing was I didn't want to see Jerry Cram come into the ball game. I had not had, I think, any success against Jerry. He had my number. He had a good slider, threw hard enough to keep you off balance. So the one thing that I really thought about was, what the heck? I'm going to look for the slider.
You were actually 3 of 6 with 4 driven in that game. And even though you were in the majors, was this one of, if not the highlight of your baseball career?
Well, I think except for playing in the major leagues and starting opening day in Montreal in '74, obviously, yes, it was. It was a great experience and a lot of fun.
That was the final season of professional baseball for you, but you had some star-studded teams in your 4 years in the Bears. Andre Dawson, Ellis Valentine, Gary Renicky came to mind. What was it like playing with so many future long-term major leaguers?
Well, it was a lot of fun, and they were all great guys, and we got along, I think. Excuse me, I think very well, and again, it was so nice to be able to play in Denver. I mean, minor league, even AAA facilities back then were not like they are now. Most AAA facilities are even better than spring training facilities. So it was a real joy to get to play in in Denver. Just the lighting alone was fabulous.
And of course, you remember Jerry Cram was on that Omaha team, but you remember that Albo team also had Clint Hurdle, future Rockies manager, Ken Phillips, and of course, Quisenberry.
Yeah. Nettles, Greg Nettles' younger brother, was on that team. I mean, they were good.
Didn't Hurdle make the last out in the '77 championship against Terry Enyart?
Boy, you know what? Your memory is a lot better than mine.
I remember Terry said, "I just want one at bat. I want to face their big boy." And he faced Hurdle, and I think struck him out at the end.
Well, that's great because we didn't play the greatest that year in '77. I mean, we weren't like the '76 team, But we hung together and pieced it together and had a little run at the end. So the other thing with that, with the playoff, is that we lost the first two games at home.
Right.
And then won four straight, three being over in Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Burris, the GM, was so ticked off
Yeah.
because he thought you'd fly through Denver, and you didn't. And
Yeah.
but then you won three straight in Omaha. It was just fantastic. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Did you remain in touch with any of your former teammates later in life? And what did you do after baseball? I know because you've told me, but how about telling our listeners?
Yeah, I been in touch with Pat Scanlon. We were good roommates. Bob Reese also, we've been in touch with. So, yeah, several of them. After baseball, I held several. Well, it's kind of like when you're an athlete and you're being used to interviewed or something, they automatically just put you in sales. That's the first thing. So I sold fitness equipment. I sold recruited doctors for hospital. I sold golf equipment for a while. And then after we moved down to Phoenix, I went back to school, got my master's in education, and for the last 20 years, I taught high school chemistry and coached baseball at the high school level.
What high school, Jim?
At Horizon High School. I taught at Arcadia High School, and I coached baseball at Horizon High School. And Horizon at that time had one of the best programs in the state, led by their all everything coach Eric Kibler. So that was a lot of fun. I think we won, while I was there, 4 state titles.
Wow. That's pretty darn good, Jim.
With the College World Series going on, let's bring in our executive producer, Tim Simmons, who is your baseball SID when you were at the University of Iowa.
Yeah. Hi, Tim.
Jim, welcome and all that stuff. I just remember those days at Iowa that Dick Schultz coached the team 1 year, and then he got promoted to head coach, and a Colorado native, Dwayne Banks, took over. So talk a little bit about playing for Dwayne Banks.
Oh, Dwayne was a lot of fun. He was young, so at times his temper would get the best of him, and he wasn't real, non-emotional. He was pretty emotional, but he knew what he was doing. We enjoyed playing with him. But I remember after Schultz was selected as the new head basketball coach, we had a team meeting, and we voted to have Dwayne take over rather than have Schultz try and do both for the rest of the year.
During that period, you played with a guy by the name of Jim Sundberg, who went on and had that, and Gary Bashir. So what were some of your fondest memories of? And you even had a third baseman from Denver, I think, played in the outfield, Larry Schutzius.
Larry played third base for us. He came in as a junior college transfer, so he would have played his junior and senior year. I left in January. I signed a contract with Montreal, and so I wasn't there when they went to the World Series in 72. Yeah, I was one of the few players actually that we lost off this 71 starting lineup. In 71, we thought we had a chance to win the Big Ten, and things just kind of, in our first, as Tim, you were on it, our first venture, we went to Michigan and Michigan State and went 1-3. And back then you only played 18 games, so you were really behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, it was a different time. You only played 40 games or 45, and did a lot of traveling. And obviously, what were some of the key moments that you had with Dwayne? Obviously, playing at Colorado Mesa, Northern Colorado. Do you interact with him much anymore with the baseball field being named after him?
No, I haven't. I've seen him a couple times. Once at a Rose Bowl, actually, that we had a nice chat. And then I'll put a plug in. Both of our kids, son and daughter, both went back to the University of Iowa and got their degrees. Our son played baseball there. So while both of them were in school, we would go back and see them. And of course, when my son Andy was playing, I would go back, try and get 2 or 3 series, and Dwayne was there quite a few times. So we had a lot of good chats about those memories.
Did you ever run into a guy by the name of Tom Petroff? Tom used to coach at Northern Colorado, and then I think Dwayne hired him as a pitching coach.
I think he might have been. I know the name, but I don't think he was there when I was. The baseball staff, I think it was Dwayne, and he had one, graduate assistant, and that was it.
What is the difference between college baseball today as compared to when you played? You played limited schedule. You came out of Bloomington, Illinois, and were recruited much, or do you see much difference in it? Because you're in the high school coaching.
Yeah, it has changed tremendously. I wouldn't blame it all on social media, but there's much more interest in baseball. And a lot back when I was in high school in the 60s, you would get letters, we'd like you to, come visit, things like that. And there wasn't as much interaction. Most of the baseball recruiting was the college coaches calling scouts in the area to ask for their opinion on players.
What did you think about college going to aluminum bats?
You probably don't want to hear my comment on that. All my records are totally gone, totally wiped out. So, it was a cost thing, and I understand that. I think the bats are a lot better than they used to be when they first came out. An experience. We were in when I was with Montreal, I think it was '74. We were in Pittsburgh, and before the game, Easton, the bat company, was located right outside of Pittsburgh, and they came in with their aluminum bats to put on a little hitting demonstration. And of course, Pittsburgh back then were called the Lumber Company, and so they took some batting practice with these aluminum bats, and they were hitting everything in the third deck, even in center field. So, it was scary.
Well, it's just how the game is now. And those of us who love the game love it no matter what. But we've had to adjust to aluminum bats.
I've got a final question out of left field, too. So you come up through an organization, and they probably would remain your favorite team, but Montreal moves to Washington. Who's your favorite team now?
Well, Montreal was never my favorite team after I was out of baseball. I didn't follow baseball all that in major leagues all that much until Colorado got a team. And then I got season tickets. We enjoyed going to the games in Denver. And then when we moved down here, I kind of changed my allegiance now to Arizona, the local team.
Jim, did you ever think that the hitting, how they talk about the humidor and all that stuff, but when you were playing here, did you think that much about it compared to what they think now that it's a home run haven?
Well, I don't think it ever, and I don't think it ever was or is a home run haven. Yeah, the ball travels farther, but the field is so big and the outfielders have to play so deep that singles kill you in that ballpark. Singles and walks. They're just killers.
I have to say the year I worked with the Bears in 82, I don't think I heard the word altitude once. Jim, did it ever come up when you were
No.
on?
Well, we thought about it all the time.
And Sacco, how about you?
It was 365 down the right field line, and that's a heck of a poke no matter what. I knew that the ball could travel once you hit it, but you had to hit it, and I wasn't too worried about it.
The other thing, to jump in here, the other thing that altitude is with oxygen. So we would be thinking, well, a starting pitcher, they're not going to go very long. So we could get into their bullpen, that sort of thing, where we were more acclimated. So in that regard, we thought, just like in football or basketball, you're acclimated to the altitude. You think you have an advantage that way.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly got into Omaha's bullpen on July 4th, 1969.
Yep.
Jim, we really appreciate you joining us today. I've gone several years to the Arizona Fall League, which is kind of crazy, but I'm a big, ridiculous Yankees fan and baseball fan. And I've gone. I didn't know you were there. Maybe the next time I'll go, of course, maybe you won't take the call, but I'll try to call you and see if we can get together.
I'll take the call, Jim, and we'll go out and watch a game or have lunch or whatever you'd like to do.
I wonder if Jim Cox knows this, Jim Sacco, is that Sacco's seen the Yankees in every stadium. The last one is in Milwaukee, and it was arranged for Jim to throw out the first pitch.
Well, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah, somebody asked me if I was going to throw a fastball or a curve. I said an ephus pitch.
Yeah.
I want to make sure it gets to the plate.
Yeah. Just so the catcher can catch it.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Jim, when was the last time you were in Coors Field to see a game?
Coors Field to see a game. When our daughter was playing softball, probably she would have been 10. So anyway, they were in a national softball tournament up there. And all of the young ladies in the tournament and their better halves were invited to go watch the game. So that would have been in the 90s sometime. Yeah.
Were you there for the very first game when they played Montreal?
Yeah. We
1993.
We had season tickets from the start.
Boy, that's rare.
That was someday 80,229.
Yeah.
I remember the program sales, unbelievable. That people were buying whole wrapped things, sections of programs.
I probably still have some memorabilia from those days with Colorado, because as a season ticket holder, they would send you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks again, Jim, for joining us. Really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And it was a lot of fun going through some old memories.
It was great.
Well, everyone, we hope you're still enjoying our podcast weekly and are reminiscing with our trips down memory lane in state sports history. Let's thank our sponsors, Pasta J's at 10th and Pearl in Boulder, CU Sports Medicine, occasional co-host and executive producer Tim is Colorado Collegiate Chronicle, and Mark Johnson for introducing each moment's number.
And that's a wrap on our 33rd podcast. Tune in next week for the next reveal of the state's top 150 moments, numbers 26 through 30. And a reminder that the Hall of Fame offers tours of its museum and the stadium, as well as Empower Field at Mile High.